Hi everybody, welcome to ECTV Live. This is Tom Munley, and I'm here to do a great show. And I also have a great co-host. David the Cosmo's not here, but we have a wonderful regular guest that fills in for us. Paula Degnan, you're back.
I'm back, and there is no truth to the rumor, none whatsoever, that Dave DeCosmo is participating in the surfing contest in Wildwood this weekend. No truth to that rumor whatsoever.
That's right. And I heard from David a little while ago, and David said, I hope you and Paul have a good show. And I said to David, we are going to have a good show today, Paula.
Well, look at the great guest we have with us today.
And Paula, you can introduce our guest.
I certainly will. I'd like to introduce you to Karen Foster. And Karen is the president of the West Scranton High Park Neighborhood Watch. Karen, thank you for joining us.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Now, I understand that you just had a big party.
We did. It was our third annual Jackson Street Skate Park block party, 2-day event. Free 3-on-3 basketball. We had a skateboard competition, and we had, I think there was a total of 8 bands between the 2 days that showed and played. They gave their time, and we just had a great time.
So what kind of a group gets together that puts something that massive together when you talk about a neighborhood watch?
Right. Well, we are with the Northeast Skate Park Alliance, and he comes and helps organize that portion of it, and that's with James Gadosh and Dino DeNaples. They started that a few years ago, and they try to encourage free skate parks and activities there. And then it's just our regular community watch people and our volunteers that come and help make it happen, along with the police department.
You know what, Paula, what's on everybody's mind, Karen? I want to know what's going on. How do you make a neighborhood safer? How do you make a home safer? People are worried about what's going on in their neighborhoods. I'm not going to talk about what happened in Florida. I don't want to bring that up. But locally, what's going on in the neighborhoods to make it safe?
In the summertime, well, there's things all through the year, but in the summertime, there are crimes of opportunity. Things like if there's an open car door, someone's going to go and try to rifle through, take the change or anything of value. So just be more vigilant, make sure your car is locked, even if it's an old piece of 1970s, just make sure you lock it up because someone will try to take it. Make sure all your doors and windows are locked, even in the day if you're not in one part of the house, because there's been some daytime break-ins. You
know what's amazing, Karen and Paul, and you know this, Paul. I grew up in a town in Jessup. We never locked our doors when I was growing up. Never locked our doors.
Well,
now we lock the door every time we leave the house.
Well, it's pretty much that way now. There's several ongoing investigations for break-ins throughout the city, but being more vigilant, watching to see if there's cars on your street that don't belong. If you've lived there your whole life and you know whose cars are who, and this one shows up and stays for a week, write it down. And you can go on crimereports.com or on TipSoft. You can find both of those on the Scranton main page or the Scranton Police main page. And it's a tip line that you can just type in the information that you know about and send it in. It's completely anonymous. It goes up into Canada and gets rerouted and comes back down.
Oh.
So it's a really good tool that the police department has, and I think it's about 3 years now that it's been up and running.
Now, someone in your position, Judge Munley, when you are dealing with so many different cases, have you ever run across a case where some neighborhood watch has actually been the catalyst who has ended up bringing someone in front of you in court?
Yes, and that's a great statement, Karen. I'm sorry, I was talking with you, Paula. That's a great statement.
Anything but you can anything but late for dinner.
But you know what? At my house, I've had to have guards at my house in the business that I'm in. And also, there was a strange car that was parking in front of my house one day. He was there parked there for 24 hours, and we didn't know what was going on. Somebody from a neighborhood watch contacted me and said, Judge, there's a strange car parked in front of your house. And I came home, and I looked, and the car was parked there. It didn't leave. So we called the police. The police checked the license plate out, got the guy. He shouldn't have been parked. I don't want to say why he was parked there, but he was parked there, and they made him move his car. They didn't arrest him, but they made it because he didn't break the law, but he had to move his car.
So when you're dealing with, and I think, Karen, this too, A lot of people who may be watching from different areas throughout throughout the viewing area, a lot of people will say, well, I don't want to get involved. I'm afraid of retaliation. If they find out that I'm involved in a neighborhood watch, then maybe something will happen to my home, my property, my family. How do you answer someone who comes to you and says, I'd really like to get involved, but?
Well, we do something called front porch tours, and sometimes we'll just go and visit with them and watch what they're watching, have a soft drink with them or iced tea. And we just sit there and we watch what they're seeing, and we start documenting. We share what types of things they can document if it's an ongoing problem. And if they're not comfortable or they don't have a computer, they can call me and I'll report it anonymously for them.
But is it hard to get a neighborhood watch started? Let's say Paul and I were sitting around someday, we lived in the same neighborhood, and we said, let's start a neighborhood watch. I mean, how hard? That's got to be hard to do.
Well, for ours, it was the timing, because the neighbors were all saying that things are changing, we don't like it, we need to have a watch again, but they didn't have the organizational skills to put it together. And in my background, I did startups, so I used my skills to try to get the community together. And we're very fortunate that we have a proactive police department and that the city was very supportive in our efforts. So when I figured out how we can communicate to the different types of people in our neighborhood. Some folks don't have an answering machine on their phone. Some people don't have a computer, and other people are completely into technology. So we use all those elements to reach out. So we use robocall, email, Facebook. We have some websites as well.
Well, do you have somebody out all night patrolling your neighborhood?
There are times that we do if there's a big like a crime area, like break-ins in a certain block. We'll target a certain area, and we just go out either by walking with a police officer. We don't do it by ourselves.
Okay.
That was going to be
Yeah.
one of
Right.
the next questions.
And then we do some passive things. We encourage people to go home a different way. If there was something going on during daytime hours, you're doing your errands, go through that 500 block of wherever it is in the city, and just if you see people shaking on doors or that shouldn't be there, just kind of keep an eye out for that kind of stuff.
I think probably one of the biggest things is the relationship between local police department and people who are getting involved. And I'm sure that that must be sometimes very tough because, you know, you're trying to do the right thing, but sometimes you've always got that one or two different neighbors who, well, this is my opportunity to get even with you for something you did, and that must, that must become very difficult because you're trying to do a good service, and you've got somebody who might be trying to undermine you.
I don't concentrate on that. I look at what I can do to help the people that want the help. Mm-hmm. It may be as simple as getting the street light fixed, because it's not the same as it was a few years ago and how to go about that.
Right.
If the people are truly being disruptive, I might have a conversation with them just, to set the record straight, but I don't make a big to-do about that kind of thing. There's enough people that want to see good in the neighborhood, and we just, kind of concentrate
How often
on
do you
that.
have meetings?
We meet once a month.
And you're the president?
Yes, I'm
How many
founder.
people show up at the meetings?
Typically between 30 and 50 on a regular
Wow,
basis.
that's a
yeah.
good number.
Yeah. Early on, we had 100 or so. And what happens with this is that people will come when they have a problem, and they don't come when it's resolved. But they're going to be your biggest ally. They'll refer people because we help them and educated them on how the process works, and it kind of goes by word of mouth.
You have Karen Owens and Bernie Barron out there watching this show. They're here with us. Are they members of the Neighborhood Watch also?
I just met them today,
Oh, you
so
just
I don't know.
Oh, okay. All right. Good. Good. They're here supporting you. That's wonderful.
Yes.
That's
We'll get
wonderful.
recruits.
You get recruits, yeah.
When you're also talking about getting recruits and getting the word out, do you have other places, because even though you're involved with the West Scranton High Park neighborhood, there are Crime Watch, there's South Scranton, there's different areas.
Right.
Do you have different ways of getting your message out by different events or anything?
Well, in the last year and a half, we've been working on a network. And we started with a summit at the police headquarters to try to get the neighborhood associations and crime watches that were inactive and needed some assistance revitalizing their program. And it started out with the new Be Part of the Solution when they were getting the new signs up with all the new information about crime reports and where they wanted their signs to be located. And then we've continued it. We'll have another summit in September. And it might be things like there's only so many people that work in license inspections and permits, and they can't always get to all the meetings. But if we get everybody together, we might be able to get a representative from that office or another office that they may have missed out on at one point or another. We also the elder groups now have a Facebook account, so we share all the information. Plus, there's a Be Part of the Solution website that has information from the police department that gets shared to all the groups.
Here's what I don't understand, Paula and Karen. You said when you walk around, you walk with police officers. So what about, there's a liability issue. You walking around with the police officer, when they're on patrol, you're walking around with the police officers?
We have 2 new beat officers, and soon to be a 3rd, and they're on bike. We were able to, Scranton Police Department was able to secure the funding to get them.
So they're on bikes, and where are your people? Are they walking around?
Well, we're either walking or on bikes ourselves. We're also looking to promote a healthy lifestyle. So we we have a regular Tuesday night walk, weather permitting, but then if there's something else, we will target a different area at a different time.
So what are some of the other things, getting involved in Crime Watch, of course, would be the ultimate. That would be the best thing that you could find out about people wanting to get involved in. It's summertime, people are going on vacation, you've got children who are home from school. Are there ways that people can be proactive in order to help in that area?
Absolutely.
Even children?
With children, if your bike is taken, report it. For every bike that is reported, there's 5 others that get picked up at the police department and they can't find their owners. At our event, the Scranton Police Department reinstated the bike registrations, and they'll do it again at National Night Out on, I think it's August 6th at Scranton High School. It's just a rite of passage, so to say, with these kids. They dare each other to take the bikes, and then they eventually want to find a better one, and they drop it off, and then someone calls and says, I've got this bike, can you come pick it up? About a week and a half ago, actually, there was one left by our Family Dollar over in West Side, and I just posted on Facebook, I found this bike. It was sitting here all day, a little girl's bike, and sure enough, we found the owner. And then there was a second person who said my bike was stolen 2-3 days ago, and she called the police department, and sure enough, it was there. So we returned 2 bikes in 20 minutes.
Wow. So
by using Facebook.
So it's not break-ins or any things like that.
Crimes of opportunity with the juvenile crime.
And things as such as, we always heard about it, stop your mail, stop your newspaper.
Right. We have a packet that we give out, and it gives some tips in there on how to give information about a suspect or suspicious person or vehicle. There's a checklist. And then we also have an itemized list of your electronics or valuables so you can get your serial numbers and register them. So if it does become stolen, at least you have the serial numbers if it's recovered.
You know, if when you decide to walk around the neighborhood, if you're on, do you call it on patrol, or you're just watching the neighborhood? Are you on? Do you call it patrol? I'm going on patrol.
When we have an organized one?
Right.
Yes, and the police department will know that
They'll
we're.
know. And how many people will travel with you? Like 5 or 6?
It could be as little as 5 or 6, or it could be as much as 30.
And you walk around the whole neighborhood. We
have different areas that we go through. It's
Okay.
usually a 5 to 8 block area that we'll travel.
And if you see something suspicious, because you know your neighborhood, you'll call the police? Is that
The
what you do?
officer will be with us.
Oh, the officer is with you.
We can take care of things. When we do our walks, we also look for things like if a garage got tagged, we can call that in. If there's a blighted property, if there's something that's dangerous, if an abandoned building looks like it was broke into again, those types of things. We can make sure that if we can secure something right then, we'll take care of it then.
Do you have specific officers that you deal with in throughout, all the different Crime Watch groups?
Each area has their own
officer.
area, right. Jason Canuck currently is our beat officer, and he does West Scranton and North Scranton. He's west of the river right now. And forgive me, I forgot his name. I'm so sorry. I was just with him all weekend and I forgot his name. There's the other gentleman is over in Southside on the southern side of the river.
Oh, that'll come back to you.
Yeah.
It will
Right,
in a few
right
minutes,
at the
yeah.
last minute,
Yeah.
all of a sudden you're going to.
That's right. So I think it's a very good thing to have a neighborhood watch. It's a great deal. It's a great thing to make people feel safe. I always said one of the things, Paula, that I wouldn't want to happen. I always think about a home invasion.
Oh, yeah.
Like your home is
Yeah.
is where you live. Your home is where you feel safe. Your home is where you go to bed at night. And like to think that somebody could invade your home and break into your house is
It's very scary.
It's you can't even think about that.
Well, not only that, but just the fact that you have a bicycle that you've left in your front yard. You've run inside to get a drink and come back out and it's gone. You're violated.
Right, you're so violated.
Yeah.
That's right.
You know, it's really tough. And you're also at the farmers market.
We started a farmer's market at the end of the season last year. It's at Allen Park. It's on the corner of Price and Main, and it's a little park that has the white gazebo. And we have a community garden that we have items for, but we also have other vendors that we host. And there are some ripe tomatoes. I'm sure that'll be there on Tuesday. It goes from 4 to dusk.
You know what, Paula? I don't know if you have a neighborhood watch where you live. I have a friend of mine in Jessup. He's a young man named Johnny Zadzura who happens to be here, and he told me that he wanted to start a neighborhood watch in Jessup. And it just happens that he happens to be at the show watching today. But how long have you been in this?
We're in our third year.
Third year.
Yeah.
And
Last year, we won the National Award of Excellence for Neighborhood Watch with the National Sheriff's Association.
Wow.
you know what? I'll bet
Congratulations.
you a lot of people feel safer because you
Yeah.
exist up in West Scranton.
Well, I have been helping outside communities. In fact, this evening at 7 o'clock, I'll be at Old Forge because they're reinstating their Neighborhood Watch.
Oh, good.
Yeah, it's at their borough building at 7 p.m.
My neighborhood watch consists of a very large barking dog.
Oh, that's it? Okay.
But you know, a lot of times people are always watching and they know what's going on in the
Yep.
neighborhood. They just don't know where to take the information. Complaining to each other is not going to
Right.
solve the
Right.
problem. You need to have, we worked as a conduit to the police and to the other entities in our government so that we can make sure that that information is to the right people and we can find a resolution.
To be elected president of the association, you have to be very active. And they had to vote you in?
Well, I started it, so I guess I,
All right. Well,
I'll do it. Okay, I'll do it.
Yeah. Because it's all volunteer. A lot of people don't want to do that.
it is. Well, I'm fortunate. My husband's retired, so I have the time to do it now. So, and gladly, I really want Scranton and our surrounding communities to be the safe place that we knew it when we were growing up.
And that's we talk about that all the time. You know, you talk about the doors that you didn't have
That's
to
right.
lock.
That's right.
And now you even see where it notices, remember to lock your car door because people will even go in after change.
Right.
Or
Right,
just
right.
little things, just little teeny tiny things like that. And of course now that it's the summertime, the mischievous ones are out and they have to do something that is, unfortunately, when you come out in the morning, you might find your rose bush trampled or something like that. Why?
Well, if you get to know all the people in your neighborhood, even if you have a house that is a rental property, there may be people going in and out. Get to know them. You know, their culture and ways may be different, but you know that's another set of eyes, and you'll know their schedule and know their children. If you know the children in your neighborhood and you can call them by name, and call them on their actions, oftentimes they are think twice before they want to do something else because.
Right.
We always grew up, we always had 10 moms watching us. We couldn't get away with anything.
Right. But Karen said something, Paul, about the Scranton of before, however you put it. And that reminds me of something because I remember when I got back from overseas, I was in the Army in the early 70s, And I arrived at, it's not even here anymore, the Greyhound bus station. And I took a walk in the hill section of Scranton all by myself at 2 o'clock in the morning just to feel what it's like to be home. I was in Vietnam for almost a year. And I wanted to feel what it's like to be home. I wouldn't do that today, you know, because you don't feel as safe now as you did then.
There's a lot of places
right.
like that, I'm afraid.
Right.
And
Yes.
it's not, how can I put it? It's not, it's because of more of what we know can happen. It might not happen.
Right.
But now you don't want to put yourself in that kind
exactly.
of a position.
That's a good way to put it.
It's just like when you read so many things, and you know, Facebook, the internet can be good, can be bad. But I'm reading a story on Facebook this morning about a woman who was getting gas. Somebody said, "I'm a painter. If you need my
Right.
help," and then there was some kind of an odor on the card. And she started to get lightheaded and realized that there must have been something. She pulled into somebody's driveway. The two men were following. Like,
Could you imagine?
Who comes up with these things?
I know, it's unbelievable. Unbelievable. But I honestly have to say, things are improving in Scranton. I feel better about it, but I still wouldn't, there's some areas I would not walk around at 2 or 3 in the morning by myself like I did 40 years ago. I just wouldn't do it.
Unfortunately, I would have to agree with you, but we're getting there. The more eyes and ears, the more reporting, the safer we're going to be. The police can't see everything, and in fact, with the Tipsoft, there was it's about a month ago, there was an entire prostitution ring that was uncovered, and there were arrests made strictly through the Tipsoft software. So the tips that come through there, the police say, are more reliable, and they are leading to arrests. So it's a great tool. It would be great if our whole region had it, because it's, you know, it's such a great way for people to feel a peace of mind and to be a little bit more mindful and watching what's going on. The Scranton Times on Saturday had a featured article on it. So if anyone can go back on Saturday, they can get a little more information about how to get there.
Well, it's always nice to know your neighbors, and at least be able to wave and say,
That's right.
hello, and you know, you never know what goes on behind closed doors.
That's right.
But at the same time, at least if you recognize a car, or you know, our neighborhood is so small, we always know where everybody's going.
Right.
So that helps a lot. It seems to be when people, where I used to live in another county, I would track license plates at a house across the street, and I gave them to the police department, and sure enough, there was a raid.
And that's the right way to go.
But I was petrified, because all I could think, I kept saying to them, "Don't tell them where you got this.
Right.
Don't tell them where you got this."
Right.
But
Well, when we have active neighborhood watches in all parts of our city, they don't know, the criminal element will not know who's watching them and who's not. If we're in a neighborhood, it's called the broken glass theory, and basically if there's a property and the glass is broken and it's not repaired right away, it's an invitation for more windows to get broken, and
Right.
eventually that place may then become a magnet for other things. So if an area looks like it's not, the neighborhood doesn't care, then that's how these criminal elements take root. So we just need to try to keep up on that. And yes, blight is a problem in Scranton. We are actively working on that. And wonderful thing is our beat officers 2 days a week work with one of our inspectors, and they go together, so they can cite for what the police can cite for and for what the inspectors can do, and close a home or do whatever they need to do for that particular property.
No, go on, Paula.
I was just going to say, if someone does want to get in touch with you, what would be, she smiles, let's see, I'm thinking Facebook, this. Is there an easier way than another that they might be able to get in touch with you in order to either start their own, get some help, join yours?
Well, they can email me at info@hydeparkwatch.org.
Say that again, so.
info@hydeparkwatch.org. Obviously, they can call me. My number's out there. It's 570-878-7368. And we also on Facebook, it's Hyde Park Neighborhood Watch, and we have many subcategories there for the skate park. It's Jackson Street Skate Park. So any one of those, I can answer anyone's questions, and I'd be happy to meet with them.
If anybody called the Scranton Police Department, would they be able to also direct you?
They refer to me. Yep.
All right. Karen, you did a great job.
Thank you.
You were
Thank
nervous
for
a little
having me.
bit, but you're not
Little bit.
nervous now. You did a great job.
Not at
And I know
all.
we're out of time. Paula, thank you so much for coming again.
It's my pleasure,
It's
and I
real-
hope Dave wins the surfing
Oh yeah,
contest.
he will. David
I'll
will
be so
we'll-
excited.
We'll see David. We'll see David on television on a surfboard. I can't wait. I can't wait. But Mark McLaurie, thank you so much for the great job that you always do. It's unbelievable. And Bernie Barron and Karen Owens and your granddaughter Caroline is here.
My granddaughter Caroline joined us today.
And John Zadzura, thank you so much for being here to watch the show with us. So you've been a great guest, and I want to thank you so much.
I very appreciate it.
And we'll have you again on sometime in the future, Karen. Anything that comes up, myself, David, and Paula, we'd be glad to have you on again.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you so much. This is Tom Munley saying thanks a lot for watching ECTV Live, and we'll see you again next week. And David DeCosmo is coming back to town.
You hope.
Yeah.